Hey, it's Ole, and good morning from Toronto. Today, I am going to be doing a trip in downtown Toronto. I've lived here pretty much all my life, and I haven't really gotten to see the city. So, I'm going to take this time where I finished school, and I'm about to head to the West Coast, take some time to actually see the city that I've lived in for so long. Right behind me is the CN Tower, and we will see a lot of viewpoints of the CN Tower on today's tour. I am right now at Little Norway Park, and it's a very nice, beautiful look out onto the CN Tower and the malting company right there. If you come over here to this bench in Little Norway Park, you can stop by for a rest and enjoy those beautiful views. Our next stop will be the Toronto Music Garden, and from there we will take a walk on the famous Toronto Harbourfront, and we will make our way throughout the city. All right, glad you could join me today. Let's get going. Over here is the entrance to YTZ, Toronto's Billy Bishop Airport. This is our island airport and one of two airports in Toronto other than Toronto Pearson, which is our main airport. This one definitely has smaller flights, but there's plans to expand this. And something else I'd like to point out, as you can see, on the side of the road are these bikes over here. These are the Tangerine e-bikes, and you can rent them, take them around Toronto. Toronto is very bikeable, as you will see, because we have put in a lot of bike lanes as of recently. So right over here we have Toronto Music Garden, and as you can see, if you're looking at an aerial perspective, you can see all the nice cool patterns that the garden makes. This is what the garden looks like right now. As you can see, it's a little lifeless right now, but that's because we are still not into the good weather in Toronto. This is beginning of spring, and you can see some flowers starting to bloom. But when you come peak season in the summer, let's say, give it end of May, June, July, August, all the way into September, this place will be beautiful. Right now it's April. Still a little chilly, but that's all right. Today's a nice day, but this week we're gonna be an average of, let's say, 5 to 10 degrees in Toronto. Over here you can see the waterfront. We're just gonna be walking the waterfront path. Any city that you go to that has a waterfront, it's always worth walking the waterfront path. You can see boats over here, and if you can see beyond these boats, you will notice that there's more land way down there, and those are the Toronto Islands. Those are a really beautiful spot, so if you're in Toronto, definitely stop by, take the ferry, check those out. Okay, so as you can imagine, given the name the Toronto Music Garden, they have music shows over here, and this spot is a really nice area for performance. As you can see, you got your steps for the audience, and just imagine like a cello player underneath the weeping willow right there. As you walk eastbound along the waterfront, a nice spot to rest is right next to the Toronto Music Garden. There's these steps over here, there's benches, you can sit down, and you're in a nice spot right by the water there. Look at that. I'm literally right there. Just don't fall in, because you're real close now. There's no barrier. But if you fall in, it's okay. It's fresh water. Just might be a little dirty. You might be a little wet. Right now, I am at the Spadina Wave Deck, as you can see. And right behind me is the Empire Sandy. And I'm sure this boat gives tours on the peak seasons. Right now, it's a little cold still and everything, but you'll spot some cool ships when you're walking along the waterfront. Over there, as you'll see, that is one of the Toronto Island ferries. You can hop on that ferry at Jack Layton Ferry Terminal, which we will be walking to, and take a trip to Centre Island. Centre Island is more of a day trip because there's a lot to do on the island. This right here is HTO Park West. It's a beautiful park. Lots of weeping willows in this park, as you can see. A beautiful shot of the CN Tower here. A little blocked, it's all right. we'll get a lot of views of the CN Tower. And over here on the harbor front, it's a nice calm day. It's a little windy. Oh, we got a helicopter coming out. Whenever you see an orange helicopter like that, usually means it's a emergency response helicopter. So it's usually not a good sign. Maybe they're just training. But the waters are nice and calm today. You can kayak and paddleboard on Lake Ontario. But I wouldn't recommend it unless you're a strong kayaker, because right now it seems kind of calm, but as winds pick up and if you leave kind of this area, it can get a little tricky. But even this, like, you want ideally glass water to just have the best kayaking experience. There's the malting plant again. And Billy Bishop Airport right there. We can see it clearer. That strip of land over there are the Toronto Islands. It gives you amazing views of the Toronto city skyline. Go there at basically any time, but I mean, people suggest sunset, blue hour, and sunrise would be nice also, and nighttime as well. You see the city light up. So great place to go. There's beaches, there's an amusement park, there's a zoo, there's tons of biking paths, walking paths, and everything. So just a really nice day trip overall. You can spend some time on that island. Again, you can get there by the ferry, or you can take one of the private water taxis to transit over there. Just east of HTO Park West is HTO Park. Over here, there is a beach section that we will go down to, and you get a view of the Rogers Centre and CN Tower. There you go. Here's our little beach area. They got nice umbrellas, a little bit of sand separated by the concrete and the water right there. Someone's built a sand sculpture, which is pretty cool. And I guess it shows that people in Toronto are pretty nice. The fact that it's not taken down yet, which is the unfortunate thing with these things. People always like to destroy art. Over here in HTO Park is probably going to be your most direct and unobstructed view of the CN Tower and the Rogers Centre from Toronto side. So if you just look at this is sort of like directly bang on that center of the skyline. So you can just imagine how beautiful it would be if you go over to Center Island and take a look from there. Wow. What a beautiful view. Here's the Reese Street wave deck. And one thing I've noticed about the wave deck is, other than looking cool, it's a very functional design. So you can see the way it's built right here. It allows people to sit, and it sort of creates levels so people are unobstructed. Pretty cool. Here's another wave deck, as you can see. But this one, this is more just art. Probably for kids also to play on. I think I remember being a kid and playing around this area. Over here is next to the Harbourfront Centre. This is their concert event venue. And there's a lot of these cultural performance entertainment spaces in Toronto. It's big on that. And plus, as you can see, have seen that Toronto's big on green space as well. So we sort of have it all. So over here at the Harbourfront Centre, it is built from an old power plant. But inside here, where there's some construction, this actually changes to the skating rink in the It gives you really nice views as you're skating. You look at the CN Tower and Ontario Lake behind you. So here's a view looking onto the Toronto Portlands over there. That area is very interesting. It seems like it's always in development, but it's a whole piece of land with a lot of potential, but mainly it's industrial stuff over there. It is very interesting to me. Over there you have the Weston Observation Tower, which can give you a decent view of the city, but doesn't beat the CN Tower, obviously. Okay, now these are the interesting views of Toronto. These sort of views where the city's sort of like encroaching on you and sort of like, you know, on top of you right here is what living in a big city feels like. And we'll get way more views of this when we go into the heart of downtown. This over here is Love Park, and it is a heart-shaped pond in the middle of the city. Right now there's no water, so it doesn't look as cool. And you know, the trees are still not that green, but fill it up with water, and especially it's nice during the winter because it freezes over and turns into a skating rink in the heart of the city. Heart of the city, get it? Heart, love, yeah. Anyways, so here is a map of the Toronto Islands. As you can see, it's quite expansive, and as I said, lots of things to do. Here are your ferry prices, although this may change when you're here, so always check online for the most up-to-date pricing. And your ferry terminal is right over there, Jack Layton Ferry Terminal. So as you can see, there's a park over here, and that over there is actually just a gigantic bench. Would be a nice picture spot to take some pictures. This area, you get another view of the harbor front, and you can see the ferries coming in and out from here. There you have it, Scotiabank Arena, home of the Toronto Raptors. This place gets busy on those game nights. That right there is the Gardiner Expressway, and it's sort of the highway that goes right through the heart of downtown over here. Lots of traffic during rush hour. You will also see a Toronto Maple Leafs statues here, because this is also the home of the Maple Leafs. Here we have Scotiabank Center, and this is our main entrance into the center. It seems like they're setting up some sort of event. I mean, the Raptors are having a really good season, so they'll be playing sometime here. Famous hotel in Toronto, the Fairmont Royal York, and a lot of royalty has stayed there. So there it is, the moment you've all been waiting for, the CN Tower. This is the gem of our city, and it is unmistakable in the skyline. This is what it's all about. Toronto, if you come here, you have to visit the CN Tower. To visit the CN Tower, you get to go up the elevator. You can see the elevators coming down right there. And you go all the way up here. This is the tallest building in Toronto. And it stays that way because there are zoning laws to prevent any other building from reaching the site. But recently there has been another condo that is at the level of the main observation deck of the CN Tower. This is the main observation deck, as you can see. Up there, you get a 360 view of the city. It's absolutely beautiful. There are glass floors at some areas, so hopefully you're not scared of heights. And there is a restaurant up there where you can enjoy food and everything. Admission costs $47 to $62, and $62 gets you up all the way into that second observation deck, as you can see, which is even higher. If you want to pay $199, you can do the edge walk experience, where you get to walk on the edge outside of the CN Tower. Obviously, they harness you in and they strap you down, but you know, you're safe, but it's still quite an experience. I'm told that when you get up there, especially to the very top of the tower, on windy days, you can actually feel the tower slightly sway a little bit, which could be very scary for people who are scared of heights. But it's a CN Tower, and the whole point of it is heights. You can take the elevator up, or you can walk it if you're on a day where the World Wildlife Fund is running a charity campaign. There is actually a donation that you can make, and you can do the CN Tower walk. And in that, you walk all the way up the CN Tower. It's 1,776 steps up, which is equal to 144 flights up the CN Tower. So that's gonna take quite a bit, and you better be committed if you're gonna do that, because I don't really know how they get you down. Probably service entrances and everything to get you down an elevator. But, you know, if you're gonna do it, make it at the top. Don't give up, don't chicken out. Also in this area, you'll see is the Rogers Centre sitting right next to it, and the Ripley's Aquarium, which is one of our nicest aquariums in Canada, I'd say. And over here, the Metro Toronto Convention Centre, where they hold tons of conventions like Comic-Con and, you know, the auto show, tons of events and everything. So this is a very nice area to be. You can spend quite a bit of time over here. If you do decide to go up the CN Tower, the admission is actually timed, so you gotta choose when you come, but you can buy another admission where it's not timed and you can kind of come whenever. With this, it's nice all times of the day, obviously, just getting that view over the city. Come on a clear day so you can get, you know, the nice visibility, but sunset might be really nice as well. That would be just crazy up there. And also at night, nighttime views where the whole city is lit up and you're on the CN Tower looking at all the lights. That would be beautiful. This over here is Roundhouse Park, and it's one of our old roundhouses. It's actually very cool seeing these in person, because I've only seen them in Thomas. But if you're into locomotives, this is the place to be, as you can see. It's a very nice area. You get a very nice look of the city from here. It's a nice little clearing, and you can just enjoy, if you're on a sunny day, bask in the sun a little bit. It's right next to Ripley's Aquarium, the CN Tower up there. And the Rogers Centre, home of the Toronto Blue Jays. Also over here, we're at the off season, but there's actually a train, a little mini train that kind of takes you around Roundhouse Park on these little tracks and everything. It's kind of a cool experience. It's just at these houses over here, and you know, it's good for kids, adults also, and it could be something fun to do. There's a couple more locomotives over there, and this area is the actual roundhouse area. It's very cool. And this is also part of the Toronto Railway Museum. And there are plenty of shops and eating places, so that if you're here, you have lots of options. I'm pretty sure this thing still moves and it's still active, because I feel like this has changed every time I'm here. So that's actually pretty impressive. And if you're into beer, Steam Whistle Brewing is right over here. Here's Ripley Aquarium, as you can see. And lots of people like to chill on the steps over here. It's a very nice, cool spot. I do recommend going in, and it is a very cool aquarium. Lots of cool stuff to see. So right now we are basically right under the CN Tower. And I'll let you take a look. Point out that Toronto has these sightseeing buses, and I'm sure pretty much every city has these sightseeing buses. You can hop on, hop off these buses, and it will take you to all the spots. But there's, I mean, obviously the cost. It's nice to get around, I'd say, and it's nice to quickly find some spots. But if you just follow this guide, you'll be able to find all the spots you need. You can also take the streetcar, and it's totally fine. I'm right now on the Rod Robbie Bridge. This is the main entrance to the Rogers Center. Over there you can see a cool sculpture of what I believe is like baseball fans in their various ways of celebration, which is pretty cool. Here we have the CBC headquarters. That's the Canadian Broadcasting Company, and that's our main federal news outlet, just like the BBC, British Broadcasting Company. This over here behind me is Union Station. This is our main central station, sort of like Grand Central Station in New York. This right here is the old original part of Union Station. That part we were looking at outside. Union Station has expanded, so it has new parts, it's been renovated and everything. But this is the nice, like, you know, this is what you think about when you think of like Grand Central Station in New York. Obviously, that one's probably bigger and like slightly more decorated, but this is the same kind of vibe. There's a lot of food places and everything attached. There's tons of other like, this connects to the Via Rail, the GO train, the subway. So yeah, exactly. Kind of like the heart of the city. It's just all the veins connected to it. It's sort of like a maze at some points, and trying to get to like shops and everything in here, yeah, it can be quite confusing. This also connects to the Path, which is a whole underground network of like tunnels and shops and everything that connects underground Toronto, that stretches extremely far. So that's really useful in winter if you're trying to get places and you don't want to be out in the freezing cold. But the Path, I've really never been down the Path, and it can be difficult to navigate if you're a first timer. Okay, so this here is Toronto's version of the Wall Street Bull. Way smaller, but you know, you don't have to go all the way to New York to see this. Here is Brookfield Place or Alan Lambert Galleria. And I actually haven't been here before, but I saw photos of this place and it's really, really nice. It's very calm and peaceful. And, you know, it's right by TD. This is sort of the financial district in Toronto. And wow, this is pretty cool. Imagine coming to work here every day. If you're here and you want to try some Tim Hortons while you're in this nice, beautiful area, there's a Canada Hockey Hall of Fame Tim Hortons right over here, and you can get your ice caps, Timbits, whatever is famous from Tim Hortons. If you like hockey, this is the place to be. This is Canada's Hockey Hall of Fame. There's a view of Toronto's newest condo. That over there rivals the CN Tower, at least it's supposed to. Doesn't look like much from here, but it actually goes all the way up to the CN Tower's observation deck. This is Birksea Park, right behind the Gooderham Flatiron building. And this over here is a dog fountain. As you can see, it's just a bunch of dogs surrounding this fountain. Pretty much I see there's a diverse amount of breeds here. And they're all looking up at Golden Bone. It's a pretty funny fountain. Here behind me is Toronto's Flatiron building, and right now unfortunately it's under construction, so you really don't get to see it, but it's pretty cool architecture. It's like the one in New York as well, where they kind of split the road with that building, so it's pretty cool. Unfortunately, construction to keep this place restored. Here is St. Lawrence Market, and it's a pretty big market, so if you're into markets, it's here. It's one of the most famous in Toronto, and right now it's closed on Mondays, but other days it will be open. So hopefully you can go in. There's a bunch of fresh produce, fresh meats and everything, just, you know, like a farmer's market, and tons of nice food options. Here we have the Cathedral Church of St. James. And there's a couple of these churches in Toronto, but not too many. Compared to somewhere like Prague, Europe, like in Prague, these churches are like a dime a dozen. But over here, only a few of them are these kind of like really, really nice, grand churches. St. James Cathedral. Now you can hear the bells tolling because it's 12 p.m. right now. Wow, that was nice. It's just so nice. I love going into cathedrals and churches. It's just so peaceful, and seeing the murals and the stained glass, the vaulted ceilings, it's so holy. I can see why people take up religion now. You see places like this is like just the workmanship in there was amazing. Like the architecture of these places are so impressive. And so yeah, it was nice to sit down a bit and just kind of take in the moment in there. You're kind of closed off from the busyness of the city, all the loud noises and everything. You're just in there, it's silent, it's quiet, and you're just with your own thoughts and with God. This here behind me is One King West, and it is home to one of Canada's oldest large vaults. It used to be part of the Toronto Dominion Bank before they gave it over, and they changed the place. Now it's a hotel but they still use the vault as an event space and venue. So we'll see if it's open. It may be, it may be not. It's usually open in this sort of program called Doors Open Toronto, where a bunch of places open up their doors. But we'll go in and check and see if it's open. Wow, here it is. The vault. Oh my god. Look at this thing. Oh, look how thick the door is. Holy shoot, look. This is my hand compared to the door. Oh my god. Wow. This thing is so cool. Look at that. They can still actually open and close this thing, which is very impressive. But what they've said is that opening and closing it can be sort of nerve-wracking because they're not sure when it will break and if it's even fixable. But look at this. That's so cool. You can also go inside. Hopefully, oh shoot. Okay, hopefully I don't get locked in here. Oh, it's a little event space. It's actually smaller than I thought. But they used to keep a bunch of valuables in here. But here's the thing. This was more of a sort of image they presented to their clients to make them think their stuff was secure. This vault held some valuables, yes, but the actual valuables in gold and everything were held underneath this vault. So that's the history of this. But they didn't end up really needing it. As far as I know, no one broke into it. And you can see there's sort of this gold painting here. That's not original. This was actually painted for the film, I think Ocean's 8 or Ocean's 11. Can't remember, but they like filming at this location. And, you know, makes sense why. So now we are headed to the Eaton Center, where we're gonna have some lunch. It's gonna be a nice walk up to the middle of downtown. And the Eaton Center is one of the biggest malls here, so that's can be cool to check out. Okay, so we're in the Eaton Center. It's actually not too busy. This is a decent amount of people. We are here on a Monday work day, so people are at work. So that makes sense. But you come on a weekend, yeah, this place fills up. Or even holidays. Oh, holiday shopping, don't even think about it. This place has a very similar design to Brookfield Place, with sort of those vaulted ceilings of glass and all that natural light coming in. Just beautiful. Tons and tons of shops and stores here. Like, you'll probably find it all, whatever you're looking for, over at the Eaton Center. Lots of food options in the food court, which we are headed to. And yeah, it can just be cool to come around, shop, admire the architecture a little bit. Well, that's just great. I'm in Eaton Center right now, and all of a sudden there's a fire alarm, so gotta get out of here. Well, please stand up. Do not use the elevators. Well, that's unfortunate. That's weird. We'll see. We got out of the Eaton Center. This is Toronto Old City Hall, and we are going to visit the new City Hall over here. Here it is, Toronto City Hall, with Nathan Phillips Square over here and the Toronto sign. This is a great place for pictures, and if you ever come in the winter, Nathan Phillips Square freezes over, and they do a skating rink, which is really cool and very famous spot to skate. You can see here that we have the FIFA sign. FIFA is coming to Toronto, which is going to mark a historic time for Toronto. It's the first time we've hosted FIFA. It's being split between the US, Mexico, and Canada. So Toronto is one of those countries, and another city that we're going to get is Vancouver that FIFA is coming to. So it's going to be big. It's going to be busy. A lot of people coming to Toronto. So, you know, for the residents, it's going to be, they're going to have to plan extra time getting around just by how busy it is. But for people coming here, it'd be nice for them to see our city, and also for them to, you know, it helps the economy as well, right? It allows businesses to do well with the influx of people. It's going to be cool. I like the design of our city hall. I think it's very unique. And this Toronto sign over here, it actually lights up at night. So all these spots that we've been to so far, a lot of them are worth coming to see again at night. New City Hall over here. Old City Hall over here. Well, here it is. City Hall inside. There's a security screening gate. Over here is the wall of nails. This is really cool. It's a very cool piece of art. I remember seeing this when I was a kid, and we took a nice picture over here, but I'm guessing it represents being here at the heart of the city. Look at this. See that? That is so cool. Look at that. It's all nails. You can touch it. This has been here for so long. And if you look at it from the side, which I'm going to show you, if you look at it from the side, you actually get all the sort of terrain, the contours and the details. I wonder how long this took to like create and everything, but it's a beautiful piece of work here. And then you know, it all disappears as you come to face it head on.
Hello again.
This is one of the coolest parts. Over here is a scale of Toronto, and it's scaled for 1 to 2,000. That's over there is downtown Toronto, Lakeshore, where we were walking earlier. And the rest of Toronto, as you can see, it's a lot of residential. And then there's the city far away. That. Let's go down. This gives you a cool, unique perspective of Toronto. The Don Valley Parkway over here. Don Valley River flowing right through it. Look at that. This could be a nice place to come over after you've seen some of Toronto and sort of point out all the places you've been. Look at that, Rogers Centre, CN Tower. City Hall is right here. So you can see that's where we are right now. But we've walked all the way along the waterfront here earlier. We were up in this section. We're kind of just sweeping through the city, exploring.
Oh, it's so cool because you can see how like it was built before. Yeah, like the whole pier part is like new. Like it was just water before. Crazy.
So I'm in City Hall right now, and there's a wall of old photographs of Toronto City Hall, which is really cool. It looks like it. You can see the progression of the place. And this place used to be a parking lot, actually. Look at that. Just totally flat, nothing here. That's crazy. I can't imagine that much open space in Toronto. So City Hall is where the mayor of Toronto and the councillors also work. So that's all upstairs. And in the summer, during Doors Open Toronto, they actually open the upstairs. I think I heard there was like a patio or some sort of balcony, or then you can get a nice upper view of the surrounding area. This is a cool area near City Hall, and it's sort of like a turtle statue right there and a turtle shaped house. Last time I was here, this was all under construction still, but this sort of signifies Turtle Island, the indigenous communities, and that's what North America is referred to by the indigenous, Turtle Island. This is Osgoode Hall, where the Law Society resides, and the Supreme Court of Ontario is actually quite nearby. We're gonna try to go in because there's a really cool library in here. So this is Osgoode Hall, and the library is actually on the second floor over there. You have to come through security, which makes sense. Nice little atrium over here. And tons of paintings of justices in Canada. This place is actually pretty nice. It's very quiet and peaceful. There's not many people here. I don't know if a lot of people know you can come in here because there is security that you have to go through. But most people here, I mean, they're working, they're like practicing lawyers, doing research, or there was some sort of like a class earlier I almost walked into. Something cool and peaceful over here. This is gonna be interesting. If I ever become a lawyer and come over here. What's interesting is, look at the floor, the tiling. It's kind of a cool pattern. This is Old City Hall right behind me, and we are gonna go inside and see what we can see. I think they give tours over here, but you probably gotta book it ahead of time. So let's see what cool stuff are in here. So unfortunately, Old City Hall is actually closed today because they're filming something, and it seems like quite a big production. So they have all the whole City Hall closed off, and they're all inside. So this building is just outside the Eaton Center, near Massey Hall. It seems like they're old finance buildings that are no longer in use. There you have it, Massey Hall. This is one of our big famous concert halls in Toronto. Here is St. Michael's Cathedral Basilica. And just down the street is the Metropolitan United Church right over there. Wow, that was really nice in there. It was so peaceful. Again, like, it's just so sheltered compared to all the sounds outside here. You go in there, it's like a whole little bubble where you can just be with your thoughts. And yeah, the ones in Toronto are really nice. Like, this one was really nice. This one was bigger than the last one we went to, but it just doesn't beat out the ones in Prague. The ones in Prague were, like, they were just amazing. And yeah, like, The ones in Toronto would just be like a normal one in Prague. So it's pretty crazy. Here we are in Dundas Square, and this is our version of Times Square in New York, with all the electronic billboards and everything, all the screens. Definitely not as busy. I mean, like, it's pretty empty over here. Doesn't even come close to Times Square, but you know, it's closest thing we got. Times Square out here, it's busy at all times of the day, no matter what. But it's still a nice area. It's kind of picturesque in this large square downtown. It's just always interesting when there's just a large space downtown. Over here is one of our busiest crossings. You can kind of cross diagonally in whichever way. Kind of like, I don't know, Shibuya crossing in Japan, but obviously doesn't compare to that. To get around Toronto, you can use the streetcars over here. It's a nice way to just take a ride, get to your destination. You can even just ride the streetcar, do the whole loop, just go sightseeing. They have huge windows and everything, and they're really nice and smooth, and you just take them around the city, see everything. We also have buses and everything that can also take you around, and you'll just need a Presto card, and you can tap on and off of each bus, and that's used for all transit. This over here is Yonge Street, longest street in the world in Toronto. That's cool that we have that. Pretty awesome. Over here is Toronto Metropolitan University, and previously named Ryerson. It's a cool building. So TMU is nice and quiet today because exam season is over. So sort of all school is ending, and people who are still here are just sort of just sticking around, studying. Nice place to come and study, or just even just hang out, just for fun. So this is the main campus area of Toronto Metropolitan University. And it's definitely smaller than the University of Toronto campus. So we're headed to the Allen Gardens Conservatory. And as we go here, we get more and more out of town. So this is more edge of downtown Toronto. And you can kind of tell by the buildings thinning out a little bit more sky space over here. That's so cool. There's turtles in here, as you can see. And there's signs that say watch for turtles. So I guess sometimes they come into the walkway. You don't want to step on them. Look at that one. That one's swimming. There's quite a few of them. Look at that. All over here. And turtles are so cute. Nice area. This is cool, water feature. And then you see koi fish in there. Small ones over there. And then there's some big ones over here. Wow. And this is Leda and the Swan sculpture. This is an ancient Greek myth, and you can search it up for yourself. So it's actually quite hot in here, so be ready for that. But you know, that's a given. It's a greenhouse. They got to keep it a certain temperature so that the plants can thrive in harsh Toronto weather. And there's a lot of sun also coming through, right? So the whole point of the greenhouse is to keep all that trapped and everything. So in the summer, it's probably going to be even more hot, so be ready for that. So this section seems to all be desert plants and everything, so it's definitely, as soon as you enter this place, you just feel the heat immediately. Over here is the Art Gallery of Ontario, and I'll be back here to go inside tomorrow because students under the age of 25 get to go in for free. So this behind me is OCAD University, commonly referred to as the Pencil Building, and it is one of our biggest fine arts colleges in Toronto. Visual arts, film, yeah, this is where it's at. It's very cool architecture, and it's right by the AGO, so you can imagine the students there, they probably go to the AGO to sort of like study and draw inspiration and perhaps maybe get their work exhibited. Nice little area with a park and everything. Here it is, Graffiti Alley. This area also has some graffiti, but this is not the official graffiti alley down here. The official one is all along this side, but we can walk both ways. I think it's cool that Toronto left out some space where all artists can express themselves. Graffiti artists as well, they are artists. Like some of this graffiti is pretty impressive, it's very cool. And I'm sure this area probably was early on, people graffitied, they cleaned it off and then they couldn't keep up, so then they just went, hey, let's do graffiti alley over here and just let everyone go at it. And yeah, I'm pretty sure it's, you know, you're allowed to graffiti on these walls wherever, and there's probably some sort of like a system on mutual respect to not graffiti over someone else's work. Honestly, the graffiti I've seen so far is quite tame. There's been nothing super impressive, and mainly it's just a lot of tags, like people tagging and stuff. But oh, over here, this is pretty nice. This bird, That's pretty impressive. Very detailed. Here's the TIFF Theater, where they host a lot of cool art films, and they host the Toronto International Film Festival, where they block off a large portion of King Street. This is the Princess of Wales Theatre, owned by Mirvish, and this theater and Royal Alex, Elgin Garden, they all host a bunch of the biggest musicals in Toronto, sort of like Broadway. Honestly, to me, King Street is one of the coolest streets to walk down. I'm just gonna step into the road for a little bit, but like, look at that. It's just so cool. Seeing all the buildings go all the way down. This side as well. It's really awesome. When they close this off for TIFF, then, you know, you can stand in the middle of the road and get a really cool picture of these really long streets that just go down, surrounded by buildings. This is Roy Thompson Hall, where the Toronto Symphony Orchestra performs and many other orchestras. This is very cool inside. You go watch a show. You also recognize, if you watch The Boys, this is the bottom, the base of Vought Tower.
Yeah, you and Daddy.
Over there is Metro Hall, another important government building here. When you're in this area, stop and take a look at the buildings. This is another area I really like. This area, with all these buildings surrounding and everything, this really makes you feel like you're in the heart of the city. I just really like how wide these streets and sidewalks are. This is a little area I really like. Over here, there's just something very peaceful about a big open space in the middle of this bustling city. And all these buildings, it's very nice to look up. You know, stop, look up once in a while. I love looking up at like these buildings, just their sheer size and how massive they are, how much they go into the sky. Forests are also really nice to look up. It's very beautiful, actually. But I don't know, it just, and when the light hits it just right, you know, you come here at different times of the day, I bet the light, you know, the light changes how it bounces off these buildings, how it cuts between some of these buildings. You could get some really stunning photography over here. So it's a very, very nice area. And I do recommend it. It is right outside St. Andrew Station, walking towards the Toronto Stock Exchange building, and this black building here is actually one of the TD buildings. So I hope that helps you kind of pinpoint where that is. Could be a good area to come and rest. And look at this right here. The light coming through here. These pillars, these giant black pillars here. People walking around. You see the vision? Over here, even these bike racks look aesthetic. Do something with these cows. Like, put a security guard, even that's aesthetic. Okay, here is the Well Shopping Center. Let's go inside and take a look. This is another cool shopping center complex. Cool architecture. They really like this natural lighting, vaulted arches, as you can see in Toronto. Cool. Wow, this is a cool little structure found near the well. That's cool architecture, but this has so many details on it. Look at this. It comes all the way from the bottom. Like that. Staircase. Goats, astronauts. Camera, a black hole. Phone, mushrooms. And lip, chicken, brain, monkeys. What the? Fingers have a bunch of stuff also. Oh my god. Holy. This is so cool. This is such a cool sculpture. Yeah, this guy right here has got to be one of the coolest statues I've ever seen. Like, you can take so long just looking at this. There's so much detail in it. And it's just like, you think you're looking at one thing, you follow it up, like, oh, okay, that's that. Oh, like, it's just all over the place. And there's so much to look at. Like, you gotta sort of scan each body part individually. It's very awesome. Like, props to the artists who created this, and their creativity was crazy. I wonder if they were on something to create this, because, yeah, I don't know how someone just comes up with this kind of stuff, but wow, it's impressive and cool. Coming out of the well, you get another nice view of the CN Tower. I'm at the Portland Street Bridge, and Rod Robbie Bridge is right down there, this bridge. And this one is a fully pedestrian biking bridge, so you can walk over here and not fear any cars coming. The cool thing about this bridge is beautiful view of the CN Tower. You come at sunset, this would be a great time to take a picture of the CN Tower while the sun's reflecting on it at golden hour. While you're on this bridge, you also get a good look at the railway. This is coming from Union, Via Rail, CN Rail, GO Train. Everything comes through this. So here we are, our last stop of the day, Canoe Landing Park. It's been a good day. It's getting to sunset, and I'm really glad you joined me for this trip around Toronto. This is Toronto's Distillery District. It's a very nice area, and I prefer coming here at night because everything lights up, as you can see. In the morning, it's not as nice, but just the overall vibe of this place is really cool. You got brick buildings, cobblestone streets, tons of artsy, kind of like mixed with industrial design. It's a cool area. For parking, there's a parking lot over there, and that's Distillery District Lane. You can park there, come in, explore a little bit. It's not too big of an area, but it could be nice to stop, eat some stuff over here. That could be fun. Down this way, we have a theater, and I usually come to this area just for the theater. This area really starts to get busy and crowded during the Christmas season. So if you're here for Christmas, everything's decorated, everything's lit up. They got, tons of people eating everywhere over here, and there's actually an entrance fee at that point. So when you come during the winter season, around Christmas time, New Year's time, there will be an entrance fee that you will have to pay. But before a certain amount of time, it's actually free. So you can visit beforehand, and once you're in, then you don't have to pay that entrance fee. It's really interesting seeing the Distillery District so empty. It is a Monday evening, so people are not really out. You wait until like a Friday evening or Saturday evening. I'm sure this place will be pretty packed, or at least a little bit more people. Monday evening, you come out. It's a good night to come out if you want to take pictures without a lot of people. This is a beautiful spot that a lot of people like to take pictures at. And also, traffic on Monday evenings, I've noticed, is not bad because people are probably not coming downtown, and there's usually not as many, people coming downtown to go clubbing, to go to bars, eat out, go to games and stuff. So yeah, Mondays are pretty quiet usually. Well, it definitely got a little colder now that it's night. And throughout the day, it's pretty warm at some point, but it's kind of the in-between period where you're not really sure if you should take off your jacket or you should just go down to like a t-shirt. A couple people were in a t-shirt. So this season is flu season because a lot of people, you're just not sure, right? It gets hot and then cold, and people think it's safe to dress down, and then they get too cold, get sick. So at this time, be careful, right? Just wear the layers, it will protect you. Obviously don't overdo it, get too hot, but find the right apparel for the season. Today I'm very tired from walking all day pretty much. Like I got here started walking around like 9 a.m. say, and now it's 9 p.m. So I've been out whole day. I got some breaks here and there, but man, it's probably like 10 hours worth of walking, straight walking. Like, oh my god, like Toronto is walkable, yes, like the city is walkable, but like it's not the best bet to try to walk the whole city. I saw a lot today. I don't know, you probably don't have to see all that I saw when you come here, but yeah, probably get a bike or something, go around with that, because dealing with parking is just a nightmare. You don't want to be driving everywhere parking and paying for parking. Is the price racks up, and just the stress of driving in Toronto downtown traffic and then finding parking is just bad. So you can take TTC, the transit, the streetcar, the bus and everything, but a lot of the places I went to were so close where it's not even worth taking the streetcar. You could just walk 2 blocks that way and get to the next point. right? Versus wait for that streetcar, which is going to take you probably like 10 minutes or 15 minutes longer than, you know, it would take you to walk. And then, but then there's a problem, because then you walk 2 blocks to one place, and then the next place is 2 blocks away again. So now you're walking another 2 blocks, and then next place is like 3 blocks, and you're like, okay, I can walk that, you know, and so you end up just walking the entire thing. I mentioned biking. Biking's possible. You can definitely rent a bike, a scooter, but it's slightly risky. It's kind of dangerous. Toronto drivers, not the best drivers, so you really do got to be very careful when you're biking and everything. A lot of people do it, and a lot of people are fine, but just be very careful, because when people take those right turns or left turns and people are stressed and just trying to beat the light, you don't want to end up between that car and the light, right? So you just make sure you're staying safe, being aware of your surroundings. Just, you know, like, safety first when you're traveling, safety first. So yeah, it was a long day, and I don't think I really ate at regular times. When I travel, I just try to like see a bunch of stuff, and then like eating kind of just is like an afterthought. So eating wise, I mean, guess we could have done better, but like I mean I got food. It's just like sometimes hungry. My feet are super sore. I just gotta rest. Like, oh my god, I sat down a few times. It didn't really like help. Like, my feet are like super sore, like, because I haven't walked this much in a long time. So like getting back to it, obviously it's gonna be a little tough. Yeah, I go hardcore when I like travel, and it might not be the best on my body, honestly. Might need to take it slow. And also, it's like I've traveled so much, where to the point where like, yes, I saw a lot of stuff and a lot of cool stuff, but I'm like, man, yeah, it was cool, you know, like it was so, you know, like since I've traveled so many places, I've seen so much stuff, every city starts to feel about the same. Every trip feels about the same. It's just go to a bunch of places, landmarks, and just see it all and quickly get to all of them. I think I gotta slow down my travel, maybe try to spread it out over a longer period of time, have more rest periods, take it slower, rather than just going boom, 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 boom. Let's go hardcore, you know, every day. See this, see that, see that. There were some spots I did want to kind of stop, and I was like, oh shoot, in the back of my mind, I was like, oh, I need to get to the next spot, right? So yeah, you don't really want that when you're traveling. So maybe I can tone it back. I'm just glad that I'm not wasting time. That's good. So now this allows me to tone it back and have a more chill travel experience. But overall, it was good. This is a nice area also. I didn't notice this. The districts, it's pretty contained, but you know, you have quite a few areas that you can explore, a few alleys and pathways that you can explore. Obviously the main area is at lights, those lights I showed you back there. But take your time, go around, check out the shops. I'm here at Polson Pier, and this is just a beautiful view of the city of Toronto skyline. As you can see, CN Tower right back there, and the city lit up and everything. Look at that, that's amazing. This is a little bit offset, so you'll get probably the prime view at the Center Islands if you were there at dark, but this is still pretty good. There's quite a couple views that you can go around and see stuff and everything, so it's nice. It's my first time being here, actually. I haven't been to this view before, and this view would be nice during blue hour, during golden hour, sunset. Sunrise might be cool. That might be interesting. And yeah, like that's sort of like daylight. I should have came a little bit earlier when the sky was still a little bit blue. may have looked nicer, but I mean, like, hey, you can't complain. Like, this is beautiful, seeing the city lit up. So right here in this park is a good place to see it, and you're just right on the pier over here. But there's actually another section of pier that's blocked off over there, and there's a parking lot over here that's also blocked off. But I've seen videos of people going there, taking pictures with their cars and everything. So I don't know if that's a seasonal thing or if that's just maybe they've changed things. If you're into nightclubs and partying, also at Polson Pier is Rebel Nightclub, the largest nightclub in Toronto.